You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension.
There is nothing wrong with your television. Do not attempt to adjust the picture. We are now controlling the transmission. We control the horizontal and the vertical.
Oh, great! It's Monsters, our favorite show. It's starting.
I just realized, is that a Satan hat?
Yeah, it's Blackcraft.
That's so metal. I love
A
it.
little Baphomet thing. I actually just got it today.
It's so cool.
Nice.
Yeah. I love it. Thanks for noticing.
You're welcome.
I wore it for you. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Tales from the TV. My name is Joe. Joining me today, as always, my wonderful co-hosts, Rico Argentieri and Remy Militello. How you guys doing?
What up?
Doing great.
Good. All right. We have a good one in store for you guys. We're going to be taking our first dive into Netflix's Black Mirror with the uncomfortably relatable episode entitled Nosedive. What are you guys' general thoughts on this episode? Like, did you enjoy watching it?
No.
Have you ever seen it before?
I've seen it twice before, and every time my soul dies a little bit more when I watch it.
It really hits hard because it's the world we live in.
It's like literally, I think China has the system in place essentially.
Yeah, that's fair. Rico, what about you?
Yeah, these people are terrible. But I like the episode though. I haven't seen it since I originally seen it, so it was nice to go back to.
Yeah, it's great. It's really well done. All right, we'll just get to it then. Nosedive is the first episode of season 3 of Black Mirror. It premiered on Netflix on October 21st, 2016. It currently sits at an 8.3 on IMDb, a 95% on Rotten Tomatoes, and a 9.1 on Metacritic, which is incredible.
Damn good numbers.
Yeah, and it's justifiable too.
Yeah.
Is there like a list of the highest rated episodes on there?
Probably.
One of them? Yeah.
But I looked up this episode specifically, so I didn't really catch that. But I know this one's up there as one of the higher rated ones.
That's a high score.
This is definitely one of the best ones in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure.
Makes you feel bad to be alive, which I think is the purpose of Black Mirror.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they've got that market cornered. All right, the teleplay for Nosedive was written by Rashida Jones and Michael Schur, which is awesome because they're both great. They did work together on The Office and Parks and Recreation.
Like, why is that so familiar? And it's like, oh, it's because it's Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, because Rashida Jones is Ann Perkins.
Oh yeah.
I like
it's
her.
based. Yeah, she's great. It's actually she is the daughter of what's her face? She played Norma Jennings on Twin Peaks.
Weird.
Why can't I think of her name?
I know what you're talking about, but that's
Regardless,
so weird.
Irrelevant. It is based on a story by Charlie Brooker, and it is directed by Joe Wright. Nosedive stars Bryce Dallas Howard, who I just learned was the daughter of Ron Howard, which is also interesting.
Get the fuck out of here.
Really?
Yeah, and if you really stare at her face, you can see it.
Wow.
You have to really stare though, because she's far prettier than
the
Ron
Twilight
Howard.
Zone staple, Ron Howard.
Yeah, and we won't even get into her uncle.
Clint Howard, maybe the ugliest man that ever did ugly.
Oh man. Okay, Bryce Dallas Howard as Lacey. Alice Eve as best friend, quote unquote, Naomi. Cherry Jones as Susan. James Norton as Ryan. And honestly, everyone else was such a minor character, I didn't bother listing anyone else. If you haven't watched it again, you can go watch it on Netflix for free or for $1.99 download on Prime Video.
That Naomi chick, I thought she looked familiar, and the only thing she was from she's out of your league or something. She was the girl that was out of his league.
It's fair.
That makes sense. I could see that.
Contrary to my usual habits, I actually found some trivia for this episode. Where is it? This is actually the first episode of the series that does not have a single character with a British accent, which is weird but interesting because this is the third season.
I think this is when Netflix took it over.
Oh,
Probably.
that would make sense. That would make sense. For this episode, Bryce Dallas Howard gained 30 pounds in preparation. I have no idea what that's for.
Yeah, that's pretty weird.
Maybe she looked too good to be a 4.2, so they're like,
you gotta jack that weight up.
She doesn't look like she looks normal.
She looks exactly the same. Yeah.
I think she's a bit taller too.
It's a badass name, Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah.
Sounds like a cowboy.
It does. Road with lighter.
One last one I thought was interesting. When Bryce Dallas Howard watched Black Mirror for the first time, she had a nervous breakdown, which she recorded on video. In it, she said, "I just took a really bad nosedive." A year later, she met with the director, showed him the video, and they named the episode after that.
That's cool. That's really cool.
What episode did she freak out on? The pig?
Probably.
It's probably the pig. Always comes back to that pig.
It's a crazy way to start your series, that pig episode.
It is, yes. It does get people talking.
Yeah, it hooked me. This show's awesome.
Yeah, you don't know why, but you want more after seeing that.
It is true.
This is one of the best shows I've seen, and best new shows I've seen in years.
I'd say this and Creepshow are my two favorite of the modern era of these kinds of shows.
Yeah, absolutely. They take what was done back in the day by all the pioneer shows and they're putting a modern spin on it, but
crank it up to 11 in their various ways. They're also extremely different.
Yeah.
We should try the Bandersnatch episode eventually.
I actually, funny you say that, because I actually had that thought. And I was thinking it would be fun if we all watched it separately and then compared.
You should do that.
Yeah.
What path we each took.
Especially because I hate that episode, so it'll be great.
I never finished it.
Oh, man, how can you hate anything with Will Poulter in it?
That's a great question. Probably because it didn't. My run-throughs didn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense by the time I got to the end of it.
That's true, and there's a lot of endings too that are like, "Are you sure about that?" And then
are
they
you
just
sure?
take you back. They just force you to pick the same path. So. But that would be fun. Well,
yeah, put it in the notes so we don't forget.
Yeah,
we can do that Jeff Gerwin, the adventures one, like You versus the Wild. We'll just make this a choose your own adventure podcast.
Be fun.
All right, let's get to the episode because we've got a lot to talk about. So, Nosedive opens up on Lacey, our main character, and she's running through her neighborhood and her eyes are glued to her phone. And eventually we see that when she stops to take a stretch break or whatever the heck she's doing, we see that she's just mindlessly rating a bunch of people's social media posts, which was just right off the bat kind of annoying because it reminded me of a lot of people.
It's so real. People just do this.
Public. Yes. Yeah. But other than that, there's nothing that really stood out as being abnormal. It just seemed like a woman stuck in her phone world.
Her socials.
Yeah, exactly. But then it cuts to this really disturbing shot of her standing in front of the mirror. And she's just practicing laughing and smiling to herself. And it's really uncomfortable.
It was really weird.
I don't like that.
I forgot all about that, actually.
Because, like, we'll be honest, everyone's done shit like that before. Whether you gotta like speak in front of people or you have to like have a conversation that you're being weird about, but she's just like smiling and laughing and being like, and it's so creepy. I don't like it. Because then she'll like get all serious and then she'll like start smiling again and laughing and then get all serious, and it's just really weird.
Her brother doesn't see her doing this, does he?
No.
Okay.
No, because we meet him next, because he's sitting on the couch and he's playing VR games.
Hmm.
Which that's one thing that's funny because some of the things in these episodes are like meant to seem like way futuristic,
Hmm.
but he's just sitting in his underwear playing VR like half
For
decent.
4 years and we got there.
Yeah, but we find out in a conversation that they have that their lease is going to be up on their apartment, and they're both need to figure out arrangements for where they're going to live. And they don't really get too much into that. Ryan says that he's planning on moving in with one of his buddies, but she just says she's going to be taking a look at some other places on her lunch break at work. Excuse me.
I think it's also worth stating that these characters are clearly on very different paths in
Yeah.
life.
Yeah, he's much more grounded, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
And
He's doing
she's
his own
kinda-
thing.
Yeah, she's kind of just got lofty ambitions.
I like him, the brother.
Yeah, he's definitely the everyman character in this episode.
I didn't at first, and then he grew on me.
Some of his later on, some of his acting and dialogue is a little like forced, but
Oh, iffy.
all in all, I enjoyed him. So the following scene, she stops at a cafe on her way into work. And this is where we kind of see that what's going on, that everyone is just rating every little interaction they have with everybody out of 5 stars. Just every little thing. She says hello to somebody and they rate each other. She orders her food, they rate each other. And it's funny, she gets her food and she sits down and she takes a picture of it and she takes like a bite out of the cookie and makes it
That
look
was
like it's
so
all
weird.
wonderful. And then she
The
immediately
way she
spits
ate
out
that cookie.
yeah. And then she immediately spits out the cookie after she takes the picture and then sips the coffee and is clearly disgusted by it.
Yeah,
Which,
she does.
again-
She spits out the cookie.
Yeah, which again is so like a real thing. And
I
then
don't think anyone here is spitting out any cookies for sure.
No way.
Worked hard for that cookie.
and at this point is when she gets into the elevator and there's this very weird interaction with another woman where they're just having a conversation with each other based off of stuff that they see on each other's social media feed. She's actively looking through her phone, finding things on this woman to ask her about. And again, it's just so fake and uncomfortable and realistic.
I got a question here. Do they have something in their eye where they could see what's on their phone?
I think that's just for our benefit.
Okay, because well, I don't want to skip too far ahead, but I thought they took something out of her eye when she goes.
It might have been, now that you mention it, it might have been a reference to that other episode.
Oh yeah.
There's
Yeah,
an
it could have
earlier
been.
episode where they have those implants. So
Yeah.
maybe
Could
that's
be.
just the
I
thing.
couldn't tell though, because she was looking on her phone too.
Yeah, because
So-
they do that a lot in Black Mirror. Though.
They
They'll
do. It's
introduce, like, a
hinted that
piece-
it's all kind of the same universe.
They'll introduce a piece of
Mm-hmm.
technology, and then 12 episodes later, somebody will be using it all casually in the background with no mention of it whatsoever.
And that
So-
eye episode is the last season, as the last episode of season 2.
Yeah,
So it could just be.
That's a
carry over.
great episode.
It's a very good episode.
yeah,
Love to do that at some point. That's another
Yeah.
bummer one.
yeah. This made me definitely want to add more episodes of this to the list. All right, so now we get Lacey's at her desk at work and she's checking on the post that she made from earlier of her shitty coffee and cookie.
God, I hated how
Do these people
relatable
work?
this was for me.
Yeah,
It's not
then-
clear what her job is.
no, she just kind of sits at a desk. That's her job. And this is where we first see Naomi, because Naomi likes the post, but other than her focusing a little bit on Naomi, we don't really get any info on who she is, but we see that she's a 4.8, so she's kind of a
Wow.
big deal.
Big
Big
deal.
shot, yeah.
At this point, this is where we kind of get an idea of what the rating system is, because a coworker, Chester, comes up to her and offers her a smoothie or something, and she takes it and does this whole fake pretending to enjoy it thing. And she ends up actually taking a hit to her rating because we find out that he's a 3.1 and he recently went through a breakup and everyone's siding with his ex. So if you're seen talking to him, you're going to get points taken off of your credit. And we kind of find out that there's like this social credit system where it's just like the higher you're rated, the better.
This made me so
you
mad.
are. Yeah.
Did this make anyone else sort of grateful for our own draconian credit system? Because it's horrible, but it's not quite this horrible.
Yeah.
He's just like bringing in smoothies to try to like kiss people's ass. And then like she can't even drink the smoothie because everyone's judging her.
Yeah.
And
Can't
the
drink
thing
that
is
3.1 smoothie. God.
yeah. And the thing is, at first you want to feel bad for Chester, but he also kind of sucks because he's very desperate.
He does suck. Yeah,
He
Chester
almost-
does suck.
He almost kind of is like, he's almost like foreshadowing what
Happens to
Lacey
her.
becomes later in the episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he definitely is. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
He pops up again too when she's going through her shit.
yeah. Oh yeah. He pops up again. Chekhov's Chester.
Check.
So at this point, Lacey's on break and she goes to check out a fancy new apartment like she told her brother she was going to do. And it's perfect. It's exactly what she's looking for. But the payments are a bit out of her range. So this is when the woman tells her about the Prime Influencers program, where people who are 4.5 or higher get a 20% discount. And Naomi at this point, or sorry, Lacey at this point is only a 4.2.
What's the saying? If you don't have to pay, you get in for free. Or if you can pay, you get in for free.
That's, I've never heard that, but that's a hell of a saying.
The Pelican Cove.
All right. Well, I keep
What
looking
was
away
so
from
special about this apartment? It had like a fake,
Modern
like
apartment.
It's just,
an AI guy on there or something.
yeah. Well, the way the woman described it, it seemed like it was almost like an exclusive community. So like
Mhm.
everyone who was there was
It's a
upper
gated
crust.
community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I have a feeling
But only 4.5s and above.
I have a feeling that 20% 4.5 discount was meant to keep people out, probably.
Yeah.
As Remy
Yes.
said, if you can afford it, you get the discount.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh my god. Why did I pick this episode? I hate everything we're talking about right now.
It's a rough one, man.
All right. So at this point, she's at home again and she's creeping on Naomi. And her brother, her brother, who we find out is the 3.7, starts dumping on her for wanting to seek out this new apartment, saying that she's, you kind of get the idea that he thinks that she thinks she's too good for him. And
She definitely does.
yeah. And he's got more of a realistic idea of who they are and where they come from. And it's just their whole relationship dynamic is, again, it's very real. It's very brother and sister,
Mhm.
but also very, I'm better than you, deal with it kind of.
Get your
bullshit.
shit together, brother.
Yeah. Get your shit together, you VR gaming 3-point.
Because she's just
Jessica?
obsessed with being accepted, and he doesn't really. It doesn't seem like he really cares that much.
Yeah, he's over that. He has his friends he plays his video games with. He's
Like a
enjoying his-
3.7 seems pretty good. Maybe this is just me
Well,
being
she
me,
says-
but that
She
seems
says
alright.
he gets it from all his video game friends.
Yeah, that's
That's how he
fine.
gets his ratings.
I mean, let's be real.
So would
We
we.
would be those.
Yeah,
Yeah, we would be
we would be
those
those
mid.
people.
Yeah, we would be those mid 3 video game friends. I'm okay with that.
I know. I'm so okay with that.
All right. So now Lacey goes to meet with a consultant because she needs to figure out how to reach a 4.5 by the time her down payment on her apartment is due. And he basically tells her
This is a job in the future, huh?
I believe it.
Bas-
I buy it.
yeah.
It's
Buy
like a
that for $1.
stockbroker.
Yeah,
there's probably people like that who already exist.
yeah, they do. They're called influencer consultants or something like that.
It's terrible.
And it's like a whole algorithm, and like it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's
I'm not
ridiculous.
gonna be able to sleep tonight. He basically tells her that her friend circle is too small and doesn't have a lot of higher end people, and that she needs to work on getting more upvotes from people in the high fours, and that should help her out. So at this point,
He essentially explains how math works to her.
See, and that's why this whole system's fucked up, because if you're that high, people aren't gonna downvote you at all because they want you to like their shit back. So if you're at like a high 4.9 or whatever, no one's ever gonna give you a low rating because they want you to like their stuff back.
yeah, you would have to do something like horribly egregious for people to even consider not upvoting you.
And sometimes it doesn't even matter, as
Yeah.
we've seen in real life time and time
Yeah.
again.
I mean, watch the news; they always get away with it. All right, so Naomi just basically starts sucking up to everyone. I keep saying Naomi. God damn it, Lacey starts sucking up to everyone. That's tomato, right?
Just call her Bryce.
She's at work and she's just being all nice to everyone and kissing ass and upvoting everyone, and it's really sickening to watch.
It's pretty pathetic. It is, like,
Yeah.
also
And-
that stuff typically doesn't work. I guess it doesn't work for her either.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that comes up for sure. And at this point is where she starts just 5-star bombing every one of Naomi's posts. She's not even really looking at them. She's just 5-star, 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 5-star. And then this is where she runs into Chester again, because he got locked out of the building because his rating sunk too low and he can't get into his office. So he asks her for help with an upvote, and she just blows him off like she doesn't even know him. And he stands there like a sad little puppy outside the doors. Should I say good for him? He should just get out of there and go play video games with her brother.
Drive a truck. Just do anything else.
Yeah, do anything. Just live your life. And this is where she gets into the elevator again with the fake elevator lady, and they have another just painfully forced conversation.
Brutal
And-
conversation.
When she gets off the elevator, the woman rates her a 3. And this is when she calls the consultant, and he tells her she's trying too hard and that she's not coming off as genuine and needs to back up a little bit and stop being so needy, because people can sense that shit.
Even though everybody in this system is needy.
Yeah, it's you have to be needy, but you can't be obvious you're being needy. It's, oh god.
Gotta be cool about it.
Yeah, you gotta be coy. You can't want it too bad.
Yeah. You got to be needy, but you got to not care that you're being needy. People think that's cool.
Try
So-
smoking a cigarette while you're giving them a 3.
At this point, because we've seen a couple times, she has this like little like rag doll on her desk, and she decides to post a picture of it and post it. And this post gets 5-starred by Naomi. So she's finally
He's moving up.
Moving up.
Yeah, she's
So it
getting her
seems.
attention. So now she's at home and she's making a really fancy ass tapenade to try and impress her followers that she can cook. And she receives a call from Naomi. And this is where we find out that they're old friends and that the Mr. Rags picture was actually bait, because he's part of their friendship, essentially. We don't know entirely why yet, but we know that back when they were friends, Mr. Rags was around, and she knew Naomi would probably see that and like it. So Naomi tells her she's getting married and asks Lacey to be the maid of honor. And what's annoying about this scene to me is that as fake as Naomi is, she almost seems kind of genuine.
I know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like that picture really struck a chord and like kind of like got through that like wall she built up.
Yeah,
And
At least compared to what's her name?
Bryce.
Yeah, to Bryce.
yeah,
Because she
it-
seems so fake here.
yeah, yeah, she's trying way too hard. But she finds out that this wedding is going to be because the guy she's marrying is a 4.8 as well.
Oh my god,
and
what a stud.
this
What a
wedding is-
stud.
yeah, this wedding is just going to be riddled with like high fours, and she has to give a speech, and this basically means this is her ticket into those apartments. So after the call, her brother absolutely just rips on Naomi because apparently Naomi was a horrible friend who treated Lacey like complete garbage. And Lacey is just too blinded by her ultimate goal to acknowledge it, and she keeps defending Naomi. Despite the fact that you can kind of tell she knows that he's right, but just doesn't want to admit it. And then she goes and sees the consultant who tells her that if she nails the speech at the wedding, that she will absolutely be above a 4.5 in no time.
Didn't he say like she had sex with one of her boyfriends or something?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they don't really like get into it though. He's
It
just
just says his
like-
name, like
Yeah, he's just like she
Remember
fucked
Ben?
Paul.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, or Greg, I think
Greg.
it was.
I don't remember. Yeah,
She did not fuck Greg. Yeah, because that comes up again later.
I wonder what Greg's rating was.
Oh,
I'm
man,
sure he
I
was a
would
4.8 too.
I would love to know. All right, so now we see her practicing her maid of honor speech in front of her brother, and it is again just horribly fake and forced, and she starts crying and
Oh my god.
because even
yeah.
at that she sheds a tear and she's talking about how much she loves Naomi, and as soon as she's done, she just gets all deadpan. She's like, "Is the tear maybe a little too much?" It's just really like the way she just snaps from
It's very
genuine
unnerving.
emotion. Yeah, because she just goes from genuine emotion to business.
I guess these are like I guess if you're trying to be an actor, you're supposed to do these kinds of things too, specifically like look in a mirror and try and
Yeah,
like cry and things like that. And but it's like really weird seeing somebody do it not in real life, but you know, in real time.
yeah. I always think about that. Do you ever wonder how like weird it would be and like uncomfortable it would be to like be in like a relationship with someone who's like a professional actor?
Yeah.
Because there's got to be part of your brain that would always think that they're not being entirely genuine with you,
Yeah.
which is probably says more about me than it does about them. But
I
still.
also think you get to a point when you're an actor, it's like, what is the genuine you?
Yeah, it's like I'm gullible. You lie for a living.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
What? Meet in the middle.
All right, where are we going? I scrolled down on my notes for some dumb reason. Okay, it's at this point because in the speech she mentions that Naomi helped her make Mr. Rags, and that's why he's so special to them, and why she knew posting that picture would work, which it did. And once again, Ryan just starts giving it to her for being so fake and too unrealistic, and they get in this just whole argument where she talks to him like he's a loser. What she call him, a 3-point fuck at some point, which is actually kind of funny. And then he shits on her for being a goody goody, and this is basically the point where her story starts to go downhill.
A nosedive, some might call it.
Ah, look at you. That one went right over my head. Because it all begins with the driver, who she keeps waiting, and he cancels on her and gives her a ding, as she calls it.
Her brother gives her a bad rating too, right?
Yeah, on the
He
way
does.
out, they give each other bad ratings. And then, while she's all focused on that, she walks into a woman who we find out is a 4.8 and
Big
spills her
mistake.
coffee all over her.
Big mistake.
So she gets into her new cab. And I think at this point, while she's in the cab, Naomi calls her, and they're just kind of catching up and planning on the whole everything for the rehearsal dinner and all that nonsense. And it's just another really fake conversation. And you could tell the driver is not into it. And when she gets out, the driver dings her again. I think he gives her
It's
a
kind of a
long-
dick move for the driver.
Yeah. But again, he's probably one of those people that
Probably doesn't even give a
has a
shit.
low
Doesn't
rating.
give a
It doesn't
fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably like a 1.6. Can you imagine?
So, yeah, I wasn't paying attention. I don't know if we see his rating at all. Because she does rate him afterwards. Regardless. So she gets to the airport and finds out her flight is canceled. And the woman at the counter tells her that there is a standby for another flight, but it is unfortunately reserved for 4.2s, which Lacey kindly reminds her, I am a 4.2. But because she has been dinged so much in the last couple of hours, she is now down to a 4.1. And
This is great.
yeah, they get into a huge argument. She lashes out at the woman, starts swearing and yelling, and everyone around just starts dinging her, and her score is
Yeah,
just going
the
down and
real
down.
Lacey comes out, essentially.
And at this point, a security guard comes over, and he gives her a penalty, which is it's one temporary point off of her score, and for 24 hours, she receives double damage for any negative rating.
Ugh, that's a critical hit for sure.
Yeah.
Who gives them the authority to do this?
The government,
What are they, God?
It works.
the
then
airport
the
security. I mean, if we're being honest, airport security might as well be God. Don't fuck with them.
You are
Yeah,
right
it's
about
true.
that, actually.
They know we
They
all
will
got
fuck
places
your
to
day
go.
up.
Yeah, the NFTA or whatever, they will fuck you up.
Yeah, we've all got somewhere to be, and they know it. And this is one of the very few points in this episode where I actually kind of like this system, because while she's walking away, all the people that had to stand behind her and deal with that annoying bullshit just start dinging her.
That's true.
Shame.
And that is power.
Shame.
That is power I wish I had. Someone's
do
an
like
asshole to
that.
me. You know what I mean? Someone cuts
Or
me
like-
off in traffic. Boom, your credit score's lower.
Or the
That
cashier.
would be great.
Someone's an asshole, like a cashier at corner market,
Yeah,
Yeah.
something.
you get
Yeah.
dinged.
Yeah, I mean, that's a slippery slope because,
Yeah, we see where it leads.
yeah.
It's not being able to get on planes or
Yeah.
buses.
Turn on the news. You ding someone, they're going to ding you twice as hard. All right. So her only plan of action is to rent a car. And when she goes to the rental desk, the express line is for 4.0 and up. But at this point, because of her penalty and all of the dings, she is now sub 4. I think she's like a 2.8 at this point, 3.8, something stupid.
Not a bad GPA. Not great here.
That she's on a steady down. Or
Everything
a
is going
nosedive.
wrong.
A nosedive. Rico,
Nosedive.
thank you for putting that in my head. It was so obvious. I really didn't make that connection at all.
Everything's just going wrong at this point. It's
Yeah.
great.
Can I have a brief aside about obvious connections that I didn't make until like years later? In the Matrix, Neo's name is an anagram for one, and that never occurred to me until it was pointed out.
Huh.
Oh,
Remy, I love that you brought that up because the Matrix will come up again in this conversation.
Good.
wow.
So she's stuck renting from the budget line where she gets a shitty old model of car that's very outdated. And I think, what did the trivia say? The trivia said it's in check. When she turns the car on, all of the voice stuff is in check.
Mm-hmm.
And it's playing an episode of Home Improvement.
Yes. This
Which
was
is great.
great.
I love that
It was
we're in this
amazing.
futuristic world and she's watching Home Improvement. That's the idea of how old this car
And
is.
it's in a different language too. It's so great.
Ugh. So she
Completely forgot about that.
yeah.
It was so awesome.
So she just kind of deals with it. She's driving with her car, and at this point, Naomi calls her, and she has to tell Naomi that she's gonna miss the rehearsal dinner. And Naomi's a bit bummed and tells her, you know, I could find a replacement if you want. And they kind of smooth it over. And Lacey keeps driving and does not realize that her battery is running out. So at this point, she stops to recharge her battery, but she can't find an adapter for her outdated model. So she tries to. Now she gets into it with the guy at the desk, and he kind of he's another person that
He's
just
an
doesn't give a
asshole
shit.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't care. He's not helpful.
Another one.
So what did he say to her when she gives him a 5-star rating and he gives her like a 2, and she goes at him about it, and he's like, "It wasn't a meaningful interaction. What do you want from me?" Which is fair,
It is fair.
but still. Ugh. All right. So at this point, the only thing she could really do is hitchhike. So she's walking down the side of the road and she's trying to flag people down. And at one point, this couple's driving by and the woman's like, "Hey, stop and pick her up." And the guy goes, "Ew, no, she's a 2.8." And they just keep driving. And I, Rico, I think that's a good point. I think the implant thing, I think you're right about that.
I think there is one on there. Yeah.
Because they know super fast.
Mhm.
Yeah. And
It's
at
not definitely not clear though from
Yeah.
the episode.
Yeah, it's probably one of those things where if you watched all of the episodes fairly recently, you'd pick up on it easier. But
Mhm.
since it's the first episode we all watched in how long?
Couple of years.
Yeah. So at this point, we meet Susan, who is a truck driver, pulls over, and we immediately find out she's a 1.4.
Ugh.
And at first,
Disgusting.
she is the best character in this episode.
By far.
He is. He's a
By
5-star.
Even though Lacey at first does not want to get in, she ultimately gets in. And at this point, Remy, this is where the Matrix will come up again.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys caught this. I thought I caught it. It stood out to me the first time I rewatched it. And then this last time I watched it earlier today, I really paid attention. And this is really cool. The first thing Susan says to her when she gets into the truck, she nods towards a couple of thermoses. And she says, "The blue thermos is coffee. The red is whiskey."
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Which-
It's
If you remember
amazing.
From the
The
Matrix.
pills.
Yes, the blue pill
Oh.
is just living on an ignorant bliss, essentially, and the red pill is seeing through the bullshit.
I never
Wow, I didn't even think of
noticed
that.
that. That's fantastic.
The coffee and the whiskey. And I even tried to look it up too. It's not in any of the trivia or anything. So either it's just really obvious, or I'm just trying to make something into something it isn't.
No, I
But
think
No,
you're
that's
right.
a thing. That's definitely
Yeah.
a thing.
The blue
That's
pill, red pill
awesome.
thing is definitely a thing. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
so funny. I never would have noticed that.
Because at one point, Susan even refers to the whiskey as the emergency escape hatch,
Ah,
which would just further.
it's definitely the red pill. Oh,
Yeah.
it's so funny.
I thought that was really cool. I don't know why I never noticed that before.
That's great.
But so basically on the drive, Susan and Lacey have a heart to heart. And Susan reveals that she used to be a 4.6. And she says that Lacey
Damn.
reminds her a lot of her from back in the day. And we find out that she used to be married and her husband got cancer. And she did everything she could to help him. And when he died, it was because they found a place that was doing an experimental procedure, but the only remaining bed was given to a 4.4, and he was only a 4.3, which is so fucked. And again,
I hope we
We-
don't get to that.
we kind of already are there.
True.
Yeah, it's different, but
They
it's
ju- they-
pretty close.
Yeah, they just
Would-
streamlined it a lot more in this world.
They did.
It's much more complicated for us, but
Yeah,
in this
we have to fuck
episode,
around
it's-
with insurance that dictates whether or
Yeah.
not we get that bad. They just get their scores.
yeah, this
Mhm.
you just got to score, and it is what it is. So at that point, that is when Susan just stopped caring and just started speaking her mind and saying what she thought. And she explains to Lacey how liberating that felt for her and how it's the way to live. And after this conversation, it cuts to the next morning, and Susan's driving and Lacey is asleep. And they stop at a truck stop because Susan's driving in the opposite direction from where Lacey's going, so she tells her she has to get out and figure something else out. And this is when she tells her, I put a little gift in your bag. And then she pulls out the red thermos and she says, it's your emergency escape hatch. And so Lacey is in the bathroom. She's just sitting on the toilet practicing her speech, not knowing what the hell she's going to do. Probably waiting for a bus, because I think Susan said at this point there's a bunch of buses that come through. And these two people in cosplay come into the bathroom and start talking about a show called Sea of Tranquility. And Lacey, doing what people do best in this world, looks up a bunch of stuff about that show, pretends she's going to the convention and needs a ride, and they give her a ride. And at this point, well, they're on like an RV or something, and Naomi calls her and basically tells her you're out.
Yeah.
Because she saw Lacey's score, which at this point is a 2.6. She really dipped. And this is where everything comes out in the wash, that Naomi thought having a low 4, who was an old childhood friend, would look good for her and look like she was sympathetic towards somebody who was a bit of an underling. And
what is she trying to get to? A perfect 5?
Yeah, of course.
Is it even possible?
Well,
4.9.
She'll do it.
It's like the same thing as like snooty rich people.
Yeah. How many yachts do you need?
Yeah. But starting like half-assed charities so they could be like, we gave back.
True. Right, yeah, true.
Lacey's her half-assed charity.
So they're using each other.
They're using each other. Yeah.
Yeah, because she also calls out Lacey for using her too. And they basically just established, we both know what this was.
Terrible.
And Lacey tells her, I will be there and I'll give you my speech. And Naomi says, don't you dare. And at this point, Lacey chugs the red thermos of whiskey and just does everything she can to get to this wedding. And this
whole thing is great.
Yes. My favorite part about this whole sequence is that the little like sound that the phones make when you get voted becomes part of the score that's playing in the background. And it's so good. It's so
very
good the
well
way
done.
they do that. Because you don't even notice it at first. And it always pops up like when she finds these kids riding an ATV and she borrows it from them. And she's just weaving in and out of traffic. Yeah.
Here's my bike.
Yeah. Maybe they were like zeros and she was like, I'll give you a 5-star rating.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm a 2.6, baby. Because like when she's like weaving in and out of traffic and you can just hear people like pinging her phone, but it's in rhythm with the music that's playing in the background, and it's so good. And every time it cuts away, that goes away. And then every time she's back and she's doing something shitty and people are voting her,
she's also getting progressively dirtier as this is happening, which is important for when she shows up at the wedding.
Yeah, she's a mess.
Yeah, when she shows up there at like this really exclusive gated community with like armed guards, and she basically goes through the woods and sneaks in through the back, and she like falls in a mud puddle. And at one point she's walking through water with like her bag over her head.
They hired airport security for the wedding.
So she puts her dress on and she just looks like an absolute mess. And she sneaks into the wedding, which we see a bit of the wedding before she shows up, and it is the most uncomfortable. Just
looks like every bad country club wedding you can imagine.
Yeah.
Just imagine a wedding where no one wants to be there, and you're pretty damn close.
Everyone just sucks. And like Naomi's husband gives a speech and he like tells her to stand up and tells everyone how much he loves her, and she picks up her phone and rates him a 5 before like you know, it's so I'm assuming that's what she does, because he says something to her and she stands up and then she picks up her phone and like does it real quick and puts it down, and she's like, I'm here.
Yeah, it's got to be what it is, right?
Yeah,
that's so funny.
It's terrible. So this is the point where Lacey sneaks in and she gets the microphone and just starts giving this rambling,
great,
nonsensical speech. It's so good though. She just says like the stupidest stuff. I didn't really write any of it down.
It drags on for so long and it just
It's-
makes it awkward and
It's
more
very
awkward.
uncomfortable.
Yeah,
Um,
because at one point the groom gets up and she sees him, and everywhere he goes, she kind of like
she
gets more
dodges.
space in between them.
Yeah,
And
she
he goes
jukes.
to the
She
left, she goes
weaves.
to the right. Yeah,
She does get like a clap at one point, doesn't she?
She does. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Because what she say? She says something stupid about Naomi doing something stupid, and she's like, "Fuck the environment."
Oh
And
yeah,
like
yeah,
everyone's
yeah.
like, haha, yeah. And she's like, yeah, fuck the environment. She like screams it at him, and then everyone's like, okay, chill.
All right. Well, this turned.
And then when she's right when they're finally actually about to like approach, like they're approaching her and they're about to grab her, she grabs a knife. And this part killed me because she's like threatening them with the knife, and she's like, don't, I'll do it. And then she puts the knife up to Mr. Rags' throat. And she
Yeah.
says, I swear I'll cut his head off and stick it up my ass.
I don't remember that.
I do.
Oh yeah, she like screams it at them. It's great. And then she's trying to run and keep giving her speech, and a girl trips her and she falls. And this is where they grab her and they detain her and they take her in, and where they scan her eye, which now makes sense to me thanks to Eureka. And she's put in a holding cell where there's another man over in another cell, and they basically just engage in this series of insults,
Oh, fuck yous.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
which just get progressively more ridiculous. But you could tell that she's starting to
Cathartic.
feel more comfortable. Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, like all that built up energy, they could finally get out. That she's
Yeah.
hiding behind this fake persona.
I actually love this ending. It's very strange, but
Yeah,
I
'cause-
really like it.
yeah, because by the end they're just screaming "fuck you" at each other with big smiles on their faces. But it's cool because it's like the same shot,
Yeah.
and it's just jumping back and forth between their faces, and it's really cool. And that's it. That's where it ends.
Great episode.
And that is a hell of an experience.
It is, man. If you haven't seen this yet, even if you've listened to this, you really owe it to yourself to watch this, because
Yeah.
it is unlike any other piece of television I can think of.
Yeah, it's so much better than we made it sound.
It's a
Which I-
quick. It goes by quick. Too,
It does,
For a 40-minute
yeah.
episode.
Yeah. Yeah, because the second time I watched it through, I put it on like 1.5 times speed, and it just like
How did you do that?
it's on. Well, at least I use I was using Netflix just through my web browser,
Okay.
and there
cool.
was like a little. I think it was like just like a little clock in the corner, and I clicked it, and it was.
Okay.
I think I had it at 1.5. I can't do it. I can't do shit like that too fast, because then when their voices start getting like high and weird,
It starts sounding
makes
like
me
the Chipmunks.
yeah, I don't. It doesn't sit well with me.
I can't
So,
even
like,
listen to a podcast on 1.5. I need it.
Yeah.
I can't either.
One speed.
yeah.
The one podcast I listened to, they watched all the Fast and the Furious movies on 3 times speed.
That sounds
They
hilarious.
called it 3 Fast, 3 Furious.
Rico, Rico, there is one part of the first movie that I want to watch at 3 times speed.
Nice.
On a loop.
And I'm probably gonna do that as soon as we're off this call.
Oh boy.
No, I don't want people thinking I own Fast and the Furious. I can't do that after we get off this call. I will not associate myself with that. All right. Final thoughts. What'd you guys think? I had a great time.
Yeah, good episode and good acting. I like
Absolutely.
Bryce Dallas Howard in this role. She fits pretty good.
Yeah, she's good.
Yeah, I think this episode's great. I think it's massively depressing, but I think it's a great episode.
Yeah.
I would say it's out of all the Black Mirrors, it's the one that feels by far the most plausible, because like you could see this happening tomorrow. Like this is, and then
Mhm.
some version of this exists in China right now. I think it's called social credit. So
Is that a real thing?
that's a real thing. It's how much you love the party.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I
You
would
gotta
give
keep
this
track of 'em.
episode, I'll give it 5 Tim Allens.
5 Tim Allens. 5 hours?
I'm
What about you, Remy?
gonna give it a 1984 out of 5.
All right. You guys made that easy for me. I'm just going to give it 4.7 out of 5. just went with the obvious route. All right.
Yeah, I kind of
So-
forgot about that.
That would have been clever, but I didn't make that connection.
That's because I drank the red whiskey, boys. I can see through the bullshit. All right. So, guys, you have some time left?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I can go.
You want a stupid game that I came up with? That's
Absolutely.
That's
Definitely.
probably gonna blow up horribly in my face, and I'll never do it again.
Yes.
Okay. So, inspired by this episode, I was on the internet not too long ago, and I was just looking up stupid stories of things people did on the internet for likes and subscribers and followers, and dumb videos and posts and stupid things that ended up blowing up in their faces.
Sure.
So I had an idea for a game not unlike Beyond Belief, where I am going to read to you guys 7 such stories, and you're going to have to tell me whether they're actual stories or whether I made them up.
I love this.
Beautiful.
Let's do it.
And
Oh, this is
maybe
great.
if we have fun doing this and it's not terrible, we can make this a recurring thing.
I think it'll be fine.
This sounds great.
All right. So are you guys ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Rico's extra ready.
Story number 1. In the year 2020, a young New Jersey boy was hospitalized with a concussion and multiple seizures after falling victim to the Skull Breaker TikTok challenge, in which 2 people trick a third person who is standing in between them into jumping. While in the air, this person's legs are kicked out from underneath them, causing them to fall backwards onto the ground. Now, did this happen or did it not happen?
I'm gonna say it happened because it sounds so mean that it just sounds real.
I'm gonna say this happened.
Okay.
Yes. Can I hold on 1 second? I
Okay.
just need someone's knocking on my door.
I'm just trying to keep my composure because I don't want to show my hand on any of these.
Was it your kitty cat?
I thought he meant like the outside door.
Sorry about that.
Your cat just wanted to come.
You're good. All right. Number 2.
Did you say if it was true or not, or are you gonna do it at the end?
I am going to wait until the end
Okay.
because I am feeling Jonathan Frakes today.
Should I be writing my answers down?
I got him. Don't worry.
Okay.
In May of 2012, a University of Iowa student recorded himself standing over his sleeping roommate with the expectation of his roommate waking up and scared half to death for a funny laugh on the internet. Upon waking up, the roommate instead pulled out a gun, which he kept next to his bed, which the student did not know about, shooting him in the shoulder. The man eventually recovered, and the roommate was cleared of any wrongdoing as the gun was legally owned. True or false?
True.
I'm gonna say false, but it probably happens every day.
It feels real.
Okay, we got a true and we got a false. Number 3. A San Antonio teen found himself in hot water after attempting the TikTok lug nut challenge this past October. The challenge
TikTok is just a
involves-
blight on this fucking world.
Yeah, it's terrible. Yeah, I could have made this 1,000 questions long. The lug nut challenge involves loosening or completely removing the lug nuts of a vehicle's tire
Oh no.
and waiting to see what happens as the car pulls away.
Oh my
The victim
God.
of this particular prank made it nearly 4 miles before the lug nuts loosened enough to where the tire gave way, resulting in a 27-car pileup on the San Antonio I-35.
That's
True or
terrible.
false?
I'm gonna go with true. I
I'm
think I
saying
might just
true.
say they're all true.
'Cause that's the thing. At least one of them is made up and at least one of them is true, but I'm not going to tell you how many are what. So, you know, we'll
That's
find
They've
out.
all felt real.
Yeah,
so
I'm going
far.
true for that one too.
Okay. Number 4. A mob of beachgoers at an Argentinian resort plucked a baby dolphin out of the water, passing it around for the purpose of petting it and taking pictures. The endangered dolphin, having served its purpose, was then left in the mud where it later died.
Oh my God.
This has got to be true.
I
God.
hate these people. I'm
Damn
pretty
it.
sure I heard something like this already, so I'm pretty sure that's true.
You hate these people if they're not part of my fucked up brain, in which
Regardless, it's happened somewhere.
are we both truing this?
Yes.
Now, I want you to bear in mind, I tried my best to make my made up stories completely made up. They weren't
Okay.
inspired by other stories.
I was gonna ask you that too. Okay.
Like, they might be things that happened,
Mhm.
but for
Yeah,
the
in
most
this
part,
fucked up world.
I just pulled the specifics out of nowhere. All right, number 5. A couple who became popular on YouTube for chronicling the adoption of their son from China later gave him up after he is diagnosed with level 3 autism, claiming he was too much for them to handle. Don't you just want to go crawl in a hole and die right now?
This has got to be true, man. This one just
This-
this has to be true
I'm going false.
So
because you want
far,
it to be false.
so far, Remy has given me no credit for being creative.
It just shows how good you are.
Okay, 2 more. Number 6. In 2010, a visitor to Six Flags, Oklahoma City, fell out of the Wildcat wooden roller coaster after trying to catch her phone, which she dropped while attempting to record a video of herself on the ride. As a result of a near 29-foot fall to the ground below, she sustained multiple injuries, including, but not limited to, a broken arm, several bruised and broken ribs, and a cracked sternum. A lawsuit was later filed over improper safety measures, but was ultimately settled outside of court. True or false?
I hope she didn't get money for this.
Well, it was settled.
That pisses me off more.
I'm sure she got something. I'm gonna go true because I know our own Six Flags has had similar problems in the past.
Rico?
Yeah, I'm gonna go true.
Okay.
Oh fuck! I
So-
need to make this last one false.
Assuming I'm not a lying sack of shit, you're gonna have to make this one false. Okay, are you ready? In 2017, during a YouTube stunt gone wrong, a 19-year-old Minnesota woman shot and killed her 22-year-old boyfriend.
Fuck, this one's real.
In the video in question, a woman fired a single round from a Desert Eagle into a book the victim held out in front of his chest, both believing that the book would be enough to stop the bullet. The book was not enough to stop the bullet.
This one is unfortunately true.
I'm gonna go false.
Okay.
I remember
Alright.
this happening. It
What book was it?
was the Bible.
Was it really?
Yes.
I couldn't find that information anywhere. I mean, I couldn't make it up, maybe. Okay. Are you ready to find out your scores?
Yes.
Yes.
So, for the New Jersey boy who was hospitalized after the TikTok Skullbreaker challenge, you both said true, and it was in fact true.
Nice.
The University of Iowa student who was shot by his roommate he attempted to scare in the middle of the night was false. There you
Yeah.
go. You got that one right. Oh man, I forgot. Damn it. I fucked this one up. I had a Jonathan Frakes thing on my phone, and it was just like all different versions of him saying, "Nope, not this time." Damn
Ah,
it.
damn it.
Gotcha. Man, I love that man. I love that man, and I never watched an episode of Star Trek. Go
Weird.
figure.
He's great on there.
Okay. Number 3, the San Antonio teen who caused a 27-car pileup as a result of the TikTok lug nut challenge was made up, and you both got that wrong.
Damn it. Is the lug nut challenge thing real?
Yes. And I actually went through the trouble to make sure that the I-35 was actually an interstate that went through San Antonio, Texas. So just in case you guys knew information about the areas, I wanted to make sure I had my shit together.
It's dedication.
All right. The mob of beachgoers that killed the baby dolphin was unfortunately true.
And the
my
one just
God.
had to be true.
I think I heard that story. That's terrible.
So right now it is Rico 3, Remy 2.
Okay.
The couple who became popular on YouTube for their autistic Chinese son that they gave away was unfortunately true. And
Damn
with
it.
that, Remy has tied it at 3.
Apparently being an idiot and just doing all true was not the worst strategy.
Yeah. Okay, the girl who fell off the Six Flags roller coaster. I'm proud of myself for this one because I went into really convincing detail, and I wasn't sure if I was using proper lawyer speak with the whole lawsuit and settled outside.
Yeah, you did
court.
great. You did
But
great.
you
It tricked
guys-
me.
You guys both said true, and I made the fuck out of that story.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Did you
Nice.
hear about the one? And maybe this is an urban legend, but the one that happened at our Six Flags was because it was on the Superman because the guy was too large, and they just let him go on anyway. Even though
I've
the
heard
bar
that one.
didn't
I remember
Yeah.
that. That was a
close.
while ago, though, right?
And then,
Yeah, this was like 20 years ago.
yeah,
and
okay.
then, do you remember the one where Fabio was hit in the face by a bird? Look it up.
That's
it up.
delightful.
Fabio, I unless that was made up, because now that I think about it, it sounds
What
like something
Fabio?
I could make up. Fabio, like the
Model man.
At our
No.
Six Flags?
No, just like
Oh,
on he
okay.
was on like I'll look it up and make
Okay.
sure it's true. But for the final question, we go into tied at 3. The girl who shot her boyfriend through a Bible, as Remy stated, is true.
Damn it.
Remy, you are our winner of today's challenge. You started out weak, but you finished strong.
He just gets true for all of them.
I'm apparently incredibly
Yeah.
gullible. That was fun.
That
I'm
was
gonna
good.
assume that's why, and not, don't think I'm creative enough to come up with a good, convincing story.
That was fun.
Yeah,
I'd
you
like
got
to do
me.
that again.
Yeah, that was a lot of
All
fun.
right, we'll keep that in mind. On the next episode of Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction.
Now I feel like I have to come up with differenter trivia for the next one.
Like I said, this one was just inspired by this episode in particular. So,
Well, I'll have a lot to pull from once I tell you guys what the next episode we're watching is. So,
all right. And speaking of that, now that we've gotten all the horseplay out of the way, Remy, what will we be watching next?
friends, you guys are gonna love this. It's Monsters Season 1, Episode 5, My Zombie Lover.
I love everything about it already.
I've
Is it
watched
hot?
this one.
Is it hot and steamy?
It's not hot and steamy. It's more about prejudice, but it's great, and I think we'll get a lot of laughs out of this one. So even
I'm
the
ready.
title alone,
What's it called? My Zombie Lover?
My Zombie Lover, yeah.
Okay.
The title
And-
alone is pure gold. So
It is available on YouTube.
perfect.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm excited to get back into some weird monsters.
Yep, it
Monsters
is a-
always brings the heat.
Ooh, all right. The one chick from the Cosby Show's in this episode. I
She
gotta
sure
stop.
is. She sure is. She's the main character.
Yes.
Beautiful.
All right. Well, with that, do we have anything to plug, gentlemen?
No, just check out my YouTube channel. Just put up just put up a new 2-sentence horror story video. People always love those, so go check that out. And yeah, like, subscribe. Me and Rico are gonna figure out how to set up the fucking YouTube
Yeah, we'll do it this.
channel.
We'll do it this week. I know I got busy over the weekend.
And I got
And-
sick, so it's fine.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, you have rebranded the channel since we last spoke.
Oh, I did. Yeah, now it's Remy's Creepy Corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that is nice.
Thank you. So yeah, check that out. I have like 80 videos on there already. So if you want a backlog, there's plenty of shit to listen to / watch. So I just did a video on doing sobriety through writing. So if that's something that is interesting to you, it's 5 minutes long, so it's not that much of a time sink. So check it out.
Yeah, listen
Nice.
to it anyway. Maybe you'll find something out about yourself.
Yeah.
Rico, what about you? What's going on with the randomizer?
Tomorrow we are recording Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. What a great game.
3D World's so good. I
Both
feel like
of
it's
them.
very underrated.
I don't know, man. I loved it. Yeah, it was awesome. And then Bowser's Fury was amazing.
I haven't played Bowser's Fury yet because I just don't want to buy it again on Switch.
No, I know. It's worth it though. I
Is
love
it?
that game. Yeah.
Maybe I will.
I'm gonna replay. I'm gonna replay that Bowser's Fury for like once a year, probably.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. It's only like 5 hours long,
Yeah, that's pretty
but it's
long.
really good. Yeah.
That's long enough for me.
I'm gonna speed run it.
Do you still blow into the controller for that game on the Switch version, or did they figure out something else for that?
No. Blow in the controller? Was that part of the rules to like move? Because it was touchscreen too. I don't remember.
There's like fans you need to move by blowing into the Wii controller or the
Oh
Wii
yeah.
U gamepad, which
No,
was always the worst part. So I'm glad
I
that's
don't know.
not in there anymore.
I don't know what they did, but no more of that gimmick. But very good game.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what you pull next.
Me too.
Hopefully it's
Sure, it'll be one of Jeff's games.
Yeah, probably.
yeah. What's the last thing he put in?
Sonic Adventure 2. So it'll
I
probably be that.
definitely
Might as well start playing it now.
want to be on the Sonic Adventure 2 podcast when that happens, because me and him can wax nostalgic about how great Sonic Adventure 2 is.
Too bad I don't still have my Dreamcast, because I had one of the little like handheld cartridges that went into
The VMUs.
you can raise the chows. And it was so dumb, but I spent so many hours. But
That thing was so ahead of its time.
Those
man.
were cool. Yeah.
Cool as
That-
fuck.
will be a conversation for you all to check out on the Video Game Randomizer whenever the Sonic 2 episode comes out, which will
Next week.
probably be sooner than later. So, on that note, wherever you're listening to this, please like, subscribe, follow, rate and review us.
5 stars, please.
I like to think we're pleasant people and we don't want to get kicked out of our condominiums for not getting enough 5-star ratings.
No, and I'm dangerously close, people. So you gotta
Yeah,
rate.
Yeah, he's gonna be passing out smoothies at work in no time.
In
You
no
don't want
time.
that. Look at that face. You don't want that. So, where can you can reach us on Twitter?
At Twitter at Tales from the TV or Tales from the TV at gmail.com. You can email us at to give us some show suggestions.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're always open. We have a
Rico,
lot of
I-
freedom to pick whatever garbage we want. So
Rico, I appreciate how prepared you were that I'm always unprepared for this part. Because for some reason I looked at you on my screen and you just immediately filled in where I left off. So thank you. I appreciate that.
Beautiful.
And with that, if we have nothing left to cover, It has been a pleasure as always. Thank you for listening. We look forward to seeing you next time. Hope everyone has a lovely rest of their week.
And long live Tales from the TV.
Long live Tales from the TV.
Long live Tales from the TV. See you later, guys.
Bye.